This balancing. You have ever changed these tires of your car? Tire.
Yeah.
What he do is that when he put new tire, this Hassan told me he has experience of this one. He put it in the machine and he rotate it and he put some weight.
Yes.
Why is doing this thing? Because any machinery which is rotating, it should have same weight around the rotating axis. This is the rotating axis. Gami, you both come here. Okay? Both of you come here. You also come here. You also come here. Rami, you also come here. Sit. Yes, Sheikh, I want you to learn. I am not going to repeat this again. Come here near. Okay. So this is rotating axis. This is rotating axis, and this is the wheel. This is the wheel. Now you can see here. What is first? Let us discuss what is unbalance. Unbalance is more weight on the rotor on one side of the, now this is your rotating axis and this is your rotor which is rotating. Now if it has got more weight on one side, what will happen? When it will rotate, there will be force. The force will be exerted on this bearing. There will be force acting on this bearing and on this bearing, and the bearing will be damaged, and also it will be vibrating and it can touch the casing. The third thing is that it will consume more electricity or fuel. So we don't want any unbalance. It can also make some noise and it can create, vibration which is not comfortable. If you are standing near the machine, it will not be comfortable if it is vibrating. So we don't want vibration in the machine due to unbalance. We don't want any such thing. So in the industry, 10% of the problems are due to unbalance, and 70% of the problems are due to misalignment. So 70 plus 10, how much it becomes? 80%. So if you know these two subjects, balancing and this misalignment, it means you are 80% mill right. And any person who don't know about this alignment and balancing is only 20%, because 80% of the problems are due to misalignment and unbalancing. Misalignment 70% and unbalancing 10%. Now, what is unbalance? As I have told you, that unbalance is due to more weight on the rotor on one side. More weight on the rotor on one side. What will happen if there is more weight on the rotor on one side?
Coming down.
It will create force. It will create centrifugal force. When you rotate something by your hand, what will happen? What happens is that it will create some force. Like, for example, you can come over here. Okay? This. No, you go there. Sit down there. Okay. Okay. See here. Please listen this very carefully, because this is important. And I am going to. This will come again and again. This is your assessment about balancing. And final also is same thing about balancing. Practical is also about balancing, and it is very important thing. Yeah. See, this is the key. Now when I will rotate this one, what happens is that I am feeling force on my hand. That something is pulling my hand. So in the same way, if there is more weight on one side of this rotor, it will pull it. It will try to pull this shaft away from this position. And this is a bearing here, and this is a bearing here. So there will be force applied on the bearing, and the bearing will be damaged. And also the consumption of the fuel will be more, because bearing will run hard, and due to vibration, the internal parts can touch the casing, and they can be damaged, and also there will be uncomfortable environment, because there will be vibration on the floor and you will not feel comfortable. There can be a noise. So all these things we don't want. So whenever there is unbalancing in the plant, we need to balance it. So now for example, now first you should understand this. What is this? This is rotating axis. This is rotating. And what is this? This is a wheel, this is a rotor. And what I have told you, that unbalance is due to more weight on one side. Now you can see here, this is a mark here. There is a mark here. Now if I remove my hand, it will go down. This mark will always come downside. You see, it comes downside here. Now I bring this mark here and I remove my hand. Again, it will go down. This mark is always going downside. What is the reason?
More weight.
Exactly, because there is more weight. So this point, this mark is always going downside. So this is called static unbalance. This is called static balance. If you put the rotor on two bearings, and the rotor is not staying at any position, it is always coming down at some particular position, it means there is more weight. There is more weight on that point. And this we can check it by means of putting the rotor on two bearings. But this is only possible if the rotor thickness is small. Because we can find this type of unbalance without running the machine. This is called static unbalance. And I can make correction for this also. How I can make correction for this? This is okay. Okay. Now you can see here that here there is, this point is heavy and it is coming down here. Okay, all the time it is coming down here. Now if I put some weight here, I have put this weight here. Now this is coming down. I move it to this side to balance it. Now it is become. Now I move it like this here. Now it is balanced. Okay. Now I come here to this point. Now still it is moving. So I move it to this side again. Now it is almost balanced. This point is not coming down. Now I come to this position. Again, little, okay, I move it little this side. Again it is not moving. Okay. I come to this point. It is again staying at the same position. So if I move it, if I move this wheel to any position, it is staying at that position. It is staying at that position. So it means there is no unbalance. Understand?
Yeah.
And in this case, how I have done the correction? What I have done is that I have just moved this wheel to any position, and this point is always coming downside. This point is always coming downside. It will go downside, and I will fix the weight on the opposite side. Okay, this is the heavy spot, so I will fix the weight here. Now it is balanced, statically balanced. So this is one type of balance, but actually there are three different types of unbalance. One is called static unbalance, the other is called couple unbalance, and number three is dynamic unbalance. So is it clear, static unbalance? Okay, now tell me what is this unbalance? Can anybody explain to me what is this static unbalance? Or what is unbalance simply? Unbalance is due to more weight. Very simple. Due to more weight on the rotor. The rotor has got rotating axis. The other thing which you should understand from this, that when I move this weight towards the edge of this, the effect of this weight is more. The effect of this weight is more. You see, it is moving down. And when I move this weight towards the center, that side is going down. See? So it means that effect of the weight on the rotor is more when it is near the edge. This is the edge. And if it moves near to the center, the effect of the weight is less. So we can say that unbalance can be measured by two things. One thing is by the amount of weight. How much weight is there? How much?
Weight.
If you put more weight, there will be more effect. And how much is the distance from the rotating axis? How much is the distance from this rotating axis? From here to here, how much is the distance? For example, if this is a weight, this is now, how much is, this is for example 10 gram. And its distance from this center is, this distance from this center is from here to here. From center to here is for example 200 millimeter. 200 millimeter, and this is 10 gram. So the amount of unbalance will be 200 multiplied by 10. 2000 gram millimeter. 2000 gram millimeter. So in this way we can find unbalance. How? Amount of weight, amount of unbalanced weight multiplied by its distance from the center of the rotating axis. Understand?
Yes.
Because the effect of weight is more when it is away from the rotating axis. So and also the effect of unbalance is more when the weight is more, when the amount of unbalanced weight is more. This is also, so we measure by two things: the distance from the rotating axis and the amount of weight, which is mass multiplied by its distance from the center of the rotating axis. Again, now this is 10 gram and its distance from the center of the rotating axis is 200 millimeter. So how much is unbalanced? 2000 gram millimeter. Very simple. Okay, now coming back, okay, that was all about, I have told you about this one. And the benefits of balancing is that your equipment will run for a long time, and they will be very comfortable environment. There will be no vibration. It will not disturb you. The fuel consumption, the energy consumption will be less, and the machine has long life. The internal components will not be vibrating, because in case there is a vibration due to unbalance, they will touch the casing and it can be damaged. Yes.